All right, Hexicans. I'll be doing a little research into stakes that are set to expire either today at 8 p.m. or yesterday at 8 p.m. And I mean, I could be off base here. People explain this to me if you have a better understanding of what's going on. But on August 13th, 2020, that's today, 80.9 thousand trillion shares. So 80,980 trillion shares are set to expire today. Now, that's 374 million HEX staking expired. And then there's this middle category of stakes expiring SMA 5, 36.92 million HEX. But the total shares is 80,980 trillion. Okay? So I have two calculations. One is how far out would we have to restake that principal to get the same share rate? And this is crazy. You ready? Here's the first number, 374,280,000 HEX would have to be staked for 2,197 or 2,179 days to get the share rate of 80,928 trillion shares. Wow. You'd have to restake that principal for 2,000 days to get the share rate that you got just, let's say the majority of it staked out a year ago, or in December, January, February. We don't know when they staked or when they locked in their share rate, but that's crazy. And the other number is, if we add them both together, we get 411,200,000 HEX, right? And so we would have to stake that principal out 1,806 days to get the share rate of 80,977 trillion shares. That's ending today, or it already has ended, right? And the share rate, I mean, we're approaching, 6-7%. It's just climbing. And that 6 or 7% has had a dramatic impact on the amount of shares that principal is going to buy, right? And just to kind of recap, like, all of this ratchets up the share price, right? And if you're already locked in, you're locked in. So it ratchets up the share price. They surrender those shares. Those shares are no longer collecting interest, and that interest gets diverted to the rest of the share pool, right? And then as we go on to this day right here on the 19th, where 2.5 billion HEX is staked, right? Going to have a lot of liquid HEX here coming up. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever to be staking for the big payday at this point. None. It doesn't make any sense to be staked for the next year in HEX. Why would you want to surrender this share rate for a year when you know that much HEX is coming due? Let me show you how much HEX is coming due. This is by 2024. Like, that would be, let's go out to right there, and we'll go to 2024. Right. Notice right now that we have 54 billion HEX in the upper right hand corner. 54 billion HEX staked in the entire contract. Right. And now we have identified 33 billion HEX, right, in all the way up till 2024. So we're looking at 3 years out, right, from right about here. But this is today. Let's just go out a year. Right? About 15 billion HEX. almost a third of all the HEX that's staked is going to surrender that share price, that share rate, for everyone else in the share pool. And within 4 years, like half of that share rate that they could have sent further and further down the future is going to expire within the next 3 years. That's what I mean. But by year 4, by year 3 even, like hell, by year 2, or in the contract, like if you're staked out past then and 20, 30, 40% of the shares that are staked today at this share rate expire, where does all that interest go? And anyone who stakes after you is going to have to stake that amount of principal for thousands of days to get that share rate. Huh? Yo. From about year 2, year 3 on, anything that's staked out 5, 10, 15 years, they're going to get paid. They're about to get paid. Y'all need to stake out further. This is so short-sighted. They don't understand what HEX is. They haven't thought about it. I've been thinking about this for 6, 7, 8 months now, right? And they haven't thought it through properly. They don't understand this opportunity. So, I mean, go ahead and end some of that and stake it out further, why don't you? While you got this, while you can have 90% of the shares that you can have in HEX's first year. You know, like, you understand that in crypto, you got in at a penny for Bitcoin, you made 20 grand. The people who get in early and understand what this is and where this is going and do this early are going to benefit in HEX in a lot of different ways. They're going to benefit for the HEX price appreciation, as they benefit from the early share rate, as they benefit from all the people who don't understand the project, who are going to emergency end stake and surrender their shares early, and you get those penalties. All the people who are going to forget that they staked and they're not, you know, like that starts bleeding out those penalties, all those penalties and all that interest from this sweet, sweet share rate paid for the next 5, 10, 15 years. Y'all need to stake out further. Y'all need to see the potential in this and where this is going. This here is complete. HEX is complete. Audited 3 times. When they audit it, they model it. They try as hard as they can to break this code. And when they can't break it in all the ways that they model it, then it passes audit. And we lock it up immutably on this worldwide money network called Ethereum. And we interact with it. We are the bank and the Federal Reserve when we stake HEX trustlessly on our wallet. We're the bank and the Fed. Because when we stake, this contract can mint us interest and just create it. It's the only way to create more HEX in this system is through staking. That's it. That's the only way after November 19th that you can make new HEX, is to stake it. This is the most radical, insane asset I have ever heard of. So y'all need to stake. Y'all need to get you some HEX. And man, best of luck. Stake now, stake long. All right, guys.